hello everyone. Welcome back to the Storytellers Hearth Sprint 4. So we're back from our break and we are coming from you from what seems like all over the globe. So in case you're new, my name is Heather Salter-Purves. I'm a queer fantasy author, and this is my Hearthside where I talk about my reading and writing and life journeys. And I will let my lovely co-hosts introduce themselves. Would you like to go first, Jackie?
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Kirk. I write fantasy, and this sprint I'm doing the first draft of a witchy contemporary fantasy.
Which me?
Yes,
of course,
yes.
The one who's asking is the one. Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm writing murder and a lot of not nice things. And I think that I'm going to start with a contemporary thing too for this weekend.
Very nice.
Hi everyone, AlyceReads. I do authortube and booktube content here on YouTube, and I usually stream Tuesdays through Saturdays, but this week kind of been hectic, so I haven't.
And you are in like forest stream, Alice, or not?
Oh, now, of course,
What was that?
of course my internet's going to be silly now. So what are you working on, Alice? Are you reading or are you waking up?
I am waking up, and we are currently watching Dance Moms while I wake up.
Yeah, so you can
Okay,
feel
sorry,
the
it's
energy
my
of the dance.
If it wants to be.
Of course.
So we've got Sarah, the amazing co-runner of this event. Jess, try's all we can ask for. We have Lynn getting coffee. You need to get coffee. The internet's going to annoy me. Emma Bennett is also here saying hi. It might be that it doesn't want. So, of course, now the internet's going to be silly for me.
Of course it is.
Sorry, of course it is. So I did have a time sprint, but I am going to just pull a different one up that uses less energy. Internet. So I'm going to try in this sprint to get the Belhain AuthorTube anthology short story first draft written, because I am having a fight with my dragon novella. So I am going to take my time to reestablish that. And while I pull up a timer, would anyone like to tell me about the book they've read, the best book they read last year? Are you going to come back? Yeah.
I actually didn't get much reading done last year. I was quite disappointed in myself. This year I've made a concerted effort, and I've joined that Fable app. We can just have read 8 books so far this year, but last year I just reread some favourites. So I didn't really count them.
Rereading counts.
I'm thinking
that
too, but still.
I think that I also didn't read too much, but I think that I'm reading still a lot of tales of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and his short stories are a really good exercise for. I mean, I like to read it now as a writer to see how he's developing the story and how he put the magic in the realism. Gabriel Garcia Marquez is magical realism is his main genre. So yeah, I think that his short stories are one of the amazing things that I read last year.
Okay. Alice, what was one of your favorite reads of last year?
Well, I didn't read as much as my goal was supposed to. I was supposed to read 100 books, and I only read 54. And
Still a lot.
You
Just
still
54.
averaged a book a week. Oh, please. Sorry, my wife was trying to talk to me.
my favorite was probably The Only One Left by Riley Sager.
Oh, nice. Just having a look. Why am I looking at those? They're all my TBR books. So if you're wanting a short story, I really liked Seven Deaths of a Saint by Alex E. Harrow. Amazing what she did in terms of like continuous lives in a short story. Brilliant. If you're looking for spicy shifter romance, His Light in the Dark by Natasha Madden, who is an indie Australian author. So this follows a werewolf and a detective. The second one's coming out, and it's following her brother and a dark witch, and that comes out in the end of March. So we'll get on those. But we had Curious Tides. That is on my list of things I want to try and get to. But let's jump into our first sprint, because my beautiful wife Leanne is trying to talk to me at the moment. And
No, I'm actually looking at your shelf.
oh, she wants to fossick through my shelves. But that's fine. Okay, let's start. Best of luck. Did anyone else jump?
Did a little bit.
Because I did. I went, oh, goodness. I need to turn that light off in the next sprint. That's fine.
Yeah, I did. It was a full blown.
I did. And I was like, oh, my goodness.
Horror attack.
So how did everyone go on what they were working on?
Well, I got a nice even 650 words in that first chapter.
Ooh, very good, very good. I had to help little dragon something, and beautiful wife Leanne popped in to look at something, so I had to help her.
Mm-hmm.
But I got 364 words written, but I'm not dictating because I usually dictate my first drafts and they go a lot quicker than that. But I was like, let's save the internet. So we left off here. So how else did you go? Andrea? How did you go?
I read. I started reading again one of Garcia Marquez's short stories. I needed a little bit of inspiration, I think. Like reading sometimes put me in the mood of writing. And now I'm saying good morning to my dog that is here demanding be pet.
Hello, doggy.
Hello. Say hello. This huge dummy. You're so cute.
So we did have Janine pop in. Hello, Janine. So her tie was between the Deep and the Rue. Is that the Molly something extreme like graphic novel? Because if it is, I read that this year in January. It's a like graphic novel. We had one of my writing mentors pop in. Hello, yes. We didn't see you. We had 2 new people too at our writing group today. That was fun. I want to read Bridget Camille. I have the, I want to say Cerebral Palsy book. Beauty and the Beast Cerebral Palsy book. But I can't tell you what the title of that book is right this second. But I know it's got a blue cover with a vine on it. You started to read through over. Ooh, young adult dark academia. I have one of those on my list of I want to write. And then we had good morning popping in to say hi and boop the thank you, boop the like button. That's helpful. Yep, that's fine. So we did have this lovely question of what genres do you think deserve more hype? Whether it's writing, reading.
Horror.
Pun?
Horror.
Horror. Oh. Any particular type of horror or just horror?
Science fiction horror seems to be what I'm gravitating towards just now. And when you're looking, there's not an awful lot. So I've just read Paradise 1, which was a science fiction horror. But it's hard to find, just not hard to find. You can find it if you look. But
yes.
There's maybe only 2 or 3 people on YouTube that do reviews in the horror genre in general. I mean, it's an awful lot of, the fact, which is fine. I love fantasy, and that is my biggest read. But sometimes you just want something different. So yeah, yes. I would like. I mean, it's not one of those. Maybe like cozy fantasies getting a bit hype just now, but horror always seems to be one that's kind of like under everything else, and like you got the fantasy, the mystery, and thrillers, and then horror.
Yeah, there you go. That's the series I was thinking of.
Yeah.
For me, well, yes, I think the horror it needs. It's hard to find like I don't know if good horror is the thing, but something is more. I like more classical horror, like Edgar Allan Poe horror, like Lovecraft horror. And I the other day I was thinking about poetry, and actually in the Edgar Allan Poe realm, like horror and poetry, I think there is a really good, nice match. I think that's something that is not widely known. I think that fantasy is, of course, the cream and butter of everything. But I've been looking I've been looking at poetry. I don't like poetry usually. I don't not read or I don't understand poetry, I think. Or I didn't understand poetry. And I started studying because of a friend. And yeah, I think that poetry is also a thing that is not widely like hyped enough. Sorry, this gentleman is.
Oh, hello, sir.
Say hello.
Would you like to attempt speaking? Alice, what genres do you think needs more attention?
What?
So, for me, I feel like it's the science fiction romance, because you always hear of romantasy and regular romance, contemporary, but like you don't really hear much about science fiction romance other than like, and I don't even know if that's classified as erotica or not. Ice Planet Barbarians.
Yeah, I was going to say the Barbarian books. To be honest, I don't read science fiction. It sounds really weird. I will read fantasy till the cows come home. I understand that. The moment you put it on a spaceship, I get so confused about what's happening. Which sounds really stupid. I can do magic systems. I can do like elves and dwarves. He's an alien, and my brain just goes, no. However, in my top 10 books that I really like, A Long Way to Small Angry Planet's on it. But that is more because it is a character-driven book, not a science fiction book.
Yeah.
Like, they're punching holes through space, but it is very character-driven. So I'm like, I don't mind that there are 6 different types of it. But horror, who writes? I was going to say, I don't know. There is a YouTube. I don't know if she's still going. I think she's Missy Reads. She does a lot of horror stuff. There is also,
I think it's just at Shades of Orange or something like that, or something with orange in the title, I'm sure. She did love. I have to look. So
yeah.
I haven't looked at those channels for a while. I should get back in, just because I wasn't reading.
Suko Tomi. Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
Nada.
Of course.
Laura Nettles. Laura Nettles. Laura Nettles does horror as well. She writes it as well as reads it.
Yeah.
We also do have someone who thinks we need to do steampunk or arcane punk, which is a smaller niche than steampunk. If you have any recommendations for science fiction romance, pop them down in the... And science fiction horror. Have you done Annihilation? By...
Jeff Vandermeer.
I was going to say Josh Vandermeer. I went, hit. That's not his name.
I've seen the film. I like the film, and I've read his... Is it Born?
I don't know. I'm just like, that's science fiction.
I've read a couple of his. But let's say that Paradise one, it was quite good, and I've got the second one lined up to read. I don't know, science fiction and horror, I think, always go well together. And to be honest, I do watch more movies in that genre than I do read them. So that, but like I say, always read fantasy. It's my favourite ever. But every now and then you just need something a bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't. Looking at my reading, I've got, the games gods play, and the deep, and then the greedy rainbow, which is a picture book. So I'm like, well, but if I have to sit there and read it 5 times because that's what my child's homework is, you better believe I'm counting it at least once. I think that's fair. She's got to read it 5 days a week to do her homework. I sit there and I read it with her, so I will count it once towards my reading challenge.
Sounds fair.
And I don't think it is padding my numbers.
No.
But no. Shall we jump
I think
in?
sometimes you just need to...
So no, you go.
Sorry. I say sometimes you just need to read something a bit differently, because I'm reading this one here at the moment. It's Brandon Sanderson's, one of his Stormlight archives, and it's like, about 1,500 pages.
Is that the
So
latest
just
one?
like, right. No, it's not. It's book 2. But I've got, like the saying, I thought, shit, I have to get on with reading this series.
I
Or it's going to have all time, but yeah.
I start reading the Mistborn series because I've seen his lectures so many times for the last 5-6 years that I think that is just fair that I read one of these.
What? It's funny. I like the Mistborn trilogy, the first one, but I think one of my favourites was Warbreaker, which was a standalone, and I enjoyed that better.
Weirdly, that's the book I'm going to start with, Sanderson, and everyone's like, don't start there. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to go read the science fiction young adult series. And the idea of going into the Cosmere, like Mistborn, seems really big. I'm like, that's a standalone. So even if I go in and go, been there, done that, tick, or I really enjoyed it, I'm not investing in like a 6-book series. So I'm like, that's the one I might start with.
Well, I really enjoyed that one. And also, on YouTube, his book cover artist did a little sort of he just showed how he made the cover. And then when you saw it, you went, wait a minute, that's Brandon Sanderson's book.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend Warbreaker, to be honest.
Yeah, it just seems like a fairly good place to start.
A little taster.
Yes, I could count it once at 1 times 5. Yes, but I've got to balance getting my reading goals in as well as because I choose to go read this many books, but I also have a page goal that I like to hit each year, and I've not yet hit it. I'm also behind on my reading goals, because I was like, I can read 100 books this year. I read 98 last year. I'm like 8 books behind this year. And I'm also behind on my page goal, which is 24,000, because it's a nice, easy number. So it's balancing big books as well as small books. I think I might just do all novellas in one point. But we'll jump into our next sprint. We'll get some lovely coffee. Please remember to stretch your legs, save your work, get a drink, whatever else you need to do. And while we're going, this is going to be our question for the sprint. And happy writing! So we're back with that one. How did everyone go? I chanced doing dictation and managed to get 690 words that time. And the internet didn't seem to play up for me.
I got about 642 that time.
Yay.
I finished the short story and I start reviewing how I'm going to make the cyanide for my story. I'm in the researching part of. Yes.
Okay.
I got oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh, I was gonna say I got about 500 words.
Oh, woo.
We're done.
Awesome.
What genre is it in, Alice?
It's queer sci-fi romance.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! All the queer stories.
Heather, can I ask, do you always dictate your first drafts?
Yes.
Because I've only just started dictating, and I do agree that it goes a bit faster. I didn't want to dictate on here because even though I live alone, it's still a little bit awkward just talking to yourself. No, if you've done it for a while, I suppose, but I've just started, and so far I can see how much faster it goes. I mean, it's not great. You have to kind of, well, what I write isn't. There'll be a lot of editing, but it's certainly making this first draft go a bit easier, especially when I work full time and sometimes you come home and you're just knackered and you don't want to sit and type. So just sitting here and talking into a microphone is a lot easier. And I'm still getting my words in. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I think it also helps just get the story out, and then it's then a lot less daunting.
Yeah. It's certainly flown a bit better. When you first start, it was a bit like, oh, yeah, well, this kind of, and then let's see, and then you kind of, so it's flowing a bit better now that I'm getting used to it. So I'm enjoying it a bit more.
It is a skill. Sorry, I think I'm sitting on a book. I was sitting on a book. I was like, there's something on my chair, and I don't know why there was a book. I'm very confused. Yes, a Velcro mug.
Oh.
So, what is your favorite fantasy animal?
Dragon, without a doubt. Very popular, I know, but it always has been.
Griffin.
I don't know if I have a favorite. I don't know. I like dragons. I mean, who doesn't like dragons? I mean, they're amazing. And I like the different species that we can have of dragons. And but I don't know. I don't know if I have a one specific creature. I know I don't read too much fantasy. Like I'm kind of old school. I think I'm a Tolkien or Sanderson person, but yeah, I have to say dragons because I don't remember many things, and the other creatures that I like are more horror, Lovecraft creatures that are kind of awesome in the you can imagine them, but actually cannot see them. It's I like that haunting.
Oh, the eldritch creatures, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Sort of, I should say, what sort of other creatures? So not like a standard, I like a red panda or I like a hippopotamus. I mean, like, when I say fantasy, it's more like a general.
Yeah, I think that the Lovecraft monsters are my favorites. That it brings the not necessarily I'm seeing the monster, but I can sense it. I know that it's there, and sometimes you can see it, but that's what I love about that kind of creatures.
I mean, given my child's nickname is Dragon, I'm quite fond of those. I like werewolves. One that I have heard of and I want to like do more of is like a thistle-worm or a thistleworm, and it's like a Germanic folklorian creature that's like cat at the beginning and then serpine at the back, and I'm like, it just sounds really cool.
I've been looking into, some of the other fantasy creature because I've got like encyclopedias. It's the Japanese yokai. I think how you pronounce it. Just they've got some really interesting ones. They've even got one that looks like an umbrella with a foot.
Oh yeah,
it's just quite.
The reason I know that one is because of Tokyo. What is it? What? It's a game.
Right. So yeah, they've been quite interesting and just.
It's gonna bug me now until I look it up.
There's a Japanese thing that doesn't have a face, but it has an eyeball where its butthole's meant to be, so it runs around like moons people and then runs away. It's like a trickster creature.
Yeah, is that the one that's got like a pool, a little bit of water on its head or something?
Yeah, or something like that. I'm like, okay, cool, good job.
Cap?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. I'm terrible with names. As soon as I'm asked, no.
It was in Ghostwire Tokyo. It's a horror game.
So how did everyone go in chat? Or are we still waking up? We have Rebecca talking about text. So yes, I am dyslexic, so it does help with the getting the words and not seeing all the red squiggles under everything, because that is what takes me longer to type. But similarly, you find that your fingers work better than your mind to lips. Yeah,
I dictate. I have a dictation app on my phone. I just can't use it because I'm using my phone for the stream.
Oh no.
I agree with Rebecca. There is in my I also it's better my mind to fingers than mind to mouth. Like I usually write things before I can express it. So I tried dictation for when I'm driving, and sometimes you have an idea. I said, okay, I can dictate that, but start to everything. No, I need my. Actually, I write by pen and paper. Usually the first draft of the first 1,000 or whatever words, and then I start typing. But for me, it's pen and paper first.
So, yes, we had. I am currently using speech notes. So, speech to text.co dictate is what I use.
Mine is just, it's like, it looks like the Google Doc, but it's got the little microphone next to it. I think it's just called dictation. I can't click on it. So if I do, like, I'll out.
Yeah.
I just use the one in Microsoft Word because that's what I type, write in. And I thought I'll give it a try because I didn't want to buy anything if I didn't like it. But somebody pointed out in one of the courses that I do, so they actually I used to use that Dragon Naturally Speaking or something it was called. And they said that most of the dictation programs now use that code from Dragon to, make their program. So, and it seems to work fine. I mean, I probably would end up maybe buying a better one, but it works for me just now.
Yeah. And I think if it works for you and you don't have to outlay money for it, then keep on going. We have, I read Braille, so reading with your fingers. Yeah. As long as whatever way you need to get your story in. Yes. And another fun question I like to ask when I go to author events is this one.
Oh.
So it could be like a classic, it could be mythology, it could be a poem. So it doesn't have to be like a fairy tale retelling. It could be any sort of reimagining.
I can answer this question right now.
Yeah.
All right. So I already know about this. But Laura Nettles is writing one about arrows. So I'm all here for it. That's what
Is
I'm
that
waiting
the
for.
Prince and Strings one?
No.
No.
It's a new project she's working on.
Nice.
I think that in my case, please someone else take all the Stephen King books and redo the movies because are mostly horrible adaptation of his book. So it's not exactly the answer to your question, but it's the first thing that comes to my mind. Please someone else. All the Stephen King movies are terrible adaptations. Like The Dark Tower is the worst one. Yeah, I think that's what I would like to happen.
I didn't think The Green Mile was too bad as an adaptation.
Yeah. I mean, The Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption, and The Shining are the three that are good adaptations.
Except Stephen King hates The Shining.
Yes, but I think that he hates more the director than The Shining itself. But yeah, I know that he hates. But I think that is the best.
But apparently,
and
like
the other
TV
one.
series they did. Sorry, I just interrupted you there.
Which one?
I was saying Stephen King apparently like the TV series that they did of The Shining. I think he was involved in that one, though.
Yeah.
It came out later than the movie.
Oh. Okay. Yes, and Misery is
that
other one that is really good. But
oh yeah,
there's Kathy Bates is in that one, isn't
yes.
she?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes. I mean, just because of her, it's amazing. It's an amazing movie. I don't know if it's a great adaptation, but the movie is amazing because of her. Yeah, absolutely.
That's my husband's favorite.
I mean, come on. That legs breaking are still like freak me out a lot.
It's just the noise that it made.
Yeah. It's creepy. Yes, absolutely. Rebecca did a question. I don't know for whom is that question.
Yeah, is that true in any other languages? Is that in terms of writing, Rebecca, or reading? Because I don't speak another language. Or dictation.
The dictation app that I use, it has a selection. You can select the languages and stuff. Like when you go in, you first start, you press which language you're speaking. And then
Yeah, Mind to Lips or Mind to Words. In my case, that I usually write in Spanish. I'm only writing English when I'm in these streams. I usually write in English because it's hard to speak English and then write in Spanish. Like no. So if I'm speaking English, I write in English too. But yes, I always prefer to go in any language. Yeah, I'm from Chile, so Spanish is my first language. So this English is what I can deal with. But yes, and there's a lot of good apps for speak to text in Spanish too. But in the before years, there was a really troublesome to do a speech to text app with a good Spanish or in other languages work, but today there's really good. In my experience, the best apps to dictate are phone apps that are created for communicate with deaf people. There's apps that start it's for, so I started using it because I have deaf students, so I speak to my phone so they can read it, and those are the most accurate that I found. And there's a few for Android that are free. I now I have an iPhone. I haven't tested anything, but yeah, in my experience, those are really good, are really precise in their speak.
So we also had Jack and the Beanstalk, but you don't have an author in mind. So Janine, do you want it to be darker? Do you want it to be fluffier? Like genre-wise? See, mine, I would love to see Macbeth done by Shauna Maguire or Laini Taylor.
Oh.
Like, that's like up there on my list.
You know, I just can't think of anything. Now that you ask that, I'm just like, blank.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Dark would be cool. Fair. And a flip to the giant is good. I mean, Jack stole from it. Poor little giant.
Yes.
Yes, you could write it. Yes, let's jump into our next sprint so that we can get all our sprints done. What other questions do I have? This one would be fun. I'll go to this. And there it is. Best of luck, everyone. So that is one of the sprints. The third sprint, sorry. How did everyone go that time? I smashed out another 600 words.
I got another 500.
Woo!
I'm doing some maths. I've got about another 648 there.
Yay!
I have 170.
Woo!
But I realized what is missing in the first part of the first chapter, so I'm happy with that.
Well, that's also a good place to also be, where you know what needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Not fixed, but like what can be altered.
No, it's fixing something that is like doesn't make sense. Why this is happening? Yeah, no, I need to move information to the top of the draft to make sense. Yeah.
So we had Janine told to add it to her list of the never-ending project ideas for stories. My wife popped in to check how the internet was going, and that it had stopped misbehaving. She was here at the first sprint, and we were having mass problems. So yes, the internet is now behaving, my love. Sarah finished rereading Act 1 of her Dark Academia and moved on to outlining a world-building theme. Witchy novel. So what sort of Dark Academia obsession are they focused on? Sarah, I'd love to know. And your witchy, everyone's writing witchy books. Because after I got this book done, with this story done and the novella done, I'm moving on to Splinters of Ash, which is a first book in a duology. Yes. With witches and demons and the apocalypse, horsemen of the apocalypse in it.
Ooh, my second work in progress is also with demons and angels and witches, like the unholy trinity, like Lilith and Samael and one of my main characters. So yes, everyone is doing witchy things.
Good.
I love witchy things. All the witchy things.
But magic can also just be science. Science fiction.
Well, I like that teacher that says science is magic that actually works. I love that one. That's my...
So we have a Dark Academia fantasy. So magic for focus set in a boarding school with types of magic that has been sealed. Ooh, is that because it's naughty or it's bad? Dreamy. I'm intrigued. No, I just want to write a gargoyle book, and that's going to be my Dark Academia. So yeah, if you were to attend a panel or be on a panel at a convention, it can be a little one or a big one, what would your panel be on? Or what would you like to see?
Wow.
Probably a world building panel.
World building? Yeah. I found one, and it was interesting because I Googled, because I am part of a science fiction and fantasy convention that's coming up, and we're looking for panel ideas. So this is also me putting my other hat on. And one that came up was reinventing monsters, so taking eldritch creatures and vampires and werewolves and dragons and stuff.
And refitting them for your particular story.
Yeah, refitting them, but also what they represent. and updating or realigning them to maybe better respond to current things. And you would like neurodivergence and writing. Is that what you're saying? Just
ADHD and autism.
Autism to neurodivergence and writing. I think
that would be interesting, like the how we can manage maybe autism and ADHD, the motivation to write, and how to, like, for example, set goals that work for neurodiversity. Well, that, you know what I want to say, that one, because a lot of structure or setting goals for writing and all the things is for more people that can have structure, and sometimes for neurodiversity is difficult to adapt what is for other people, for what we can manage to do. I mean, we can do things, of course, but sometimes we need a tweak in what we do so we can write better. And also, I think that it's interesting to actually have good characters with autism and ADHD.
Also representation. Yeah,
that's representation also... in a... Not everyone is Sheldon Cooper, so it's good to have other type of representation.
Well, with that also being said, have you got any recommendations that you think do the representation of either ADHD, autism, or neurodivergent, or disabilities as well, that do them well?
I don't know if something that is good. I think that for autism specifically, it's more like the biopic of course I'm not going to remember the name of the movie, of the person. It's with Claire Danes, and it's about this autistic women that actually working with in the meat industry to do a better
yes
branding. Oh my god. Okay.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name of it either.
Okay, wait. Google.
Yes. Temple Grinard.
Yes, Temple Grinard. Yes. I think that because I think that it's important to understand is because it's usually because autism and ADHD are a variety of traits.
Yeah.
I think the first thing is say, look, this is one person with this disability or this kind of brain, and not everyone is this way, and not everyone is going to have this kind of trait or this kind of hyper focused mode or a variety of things. I think the first thing is to say, well, this is one autistic person, and this is what like just one. But I don't know if I found something that is actually good representation that I can say, oh, this is a good thing. I know there's a one authortuber, of course I don't know her name, that do this, like this is a good representative of neurodiversity. Sorry, it's a YouTuber, not authortuber, because her channel is about characters with different disabilities.
I know. it's not going to be there. But yes, please make friends with the like button. It's not this book, but Christina Henry does a post-apocalyptic Little Red Riding Hood, and the main character in that is an amputee and has a prosthetic leg, which I actually thought was quite good because she's not her entire like personality is that she has
personality, yeah.
But it is very like, okay, there is actually limitations to things. Just like I don't have it, I'm thinking, but also Fourth Wing, like it is, I know some people are funny about it, but it is very much like the idea that we have Violet in there's got EDS, I think.
ASD. Could be? ASD?
No, she's got some like limb pain.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
She's got the same thing as Rebecca Yarros in there. The representation and disabilities. Because I know that's come up on a few 2025 reading challenges. And I don't know if she's still in the chat, but you have Spirit Talker by Rebecca, who was in the chat before. And this is depression and schizophrenia.
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to say. A panel about how mental illness or mental health affects writing.
So if you're looking for one, there is also a Spirit Talker. I think they do PTSD quite well in Hunger Games. And
yes, that was the representation. Yeah.
Lindsay Puckett, who's an authortube here, is disabled herself and writes middle grade horror with disabled main characters as well.
Yes, I was looking for her name in my subscription list.
Lindsay Puckett.
I'm terrible with it. Terrible with it.
No.
A panel I'd like to attend would be one about character arcs in a series, not just about like through an entire series. It's just something I've been looking into lately, and I thought that would be interesting.
See, Shannon can also sit here and be like, what have we got in our thing coming up? Because she's like, I'm looking right now to see if it was accepted. We just went through the applications. So. I think we had an application submitted. There you go. So, Lynn, there may be one coming through the AuthorTube Writer Conference that Shannon is the co-chair of. That's hosted in June. So,
awesome.
Yep, that would be the lineup. But it's always fun to check and also get ideas in terms of what we're looking for. Yes. And if you're not already, please think about subscribing to my lovely co-hosts. They have put up with my shenanigans and my internet being chaotic. So did you achieve everything you guys set out to do this sprint? Or stream, I should say.
I was hoping to get a big chunk of this chapter done. It's a new chapter, and I've done just that.
Excellent.
I was trying to finish up my chapter 19, and I'm so close.
Yeah, I'm happy to break that thing that is bothering me from the first chapters. I already tossed 27K in this thing because I didn't like what the character was. So now I understand better. So yeah, I'm happy with that
Happy with where that is?
Break.
Excellent. I got 1,500 words into my short story. So I didn't quite get a whole draft out, but I got 2/3 of my outline done. So I will have it done by the end of someone else's sprint that I am on tomorrow, or possibly before I go. So yes, let me just pull up the playlist link if anyone would also like to jump onto that, because it will take you through to our next ones. Do a brief rundown sprint, or are we happy to just... Actually, what are you guys currently reading? Just wind down. Like, what's our current reads?
I've just
As Alice
finished
pulls it
Forest
over.
of Lost Souls by Laurie M. Lee, I think her name is. And I'm just working my way through Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson.
I'm reading Hush by Dylan Farrow. It's pretty good. It's book 1 of a series.
I'm audiobook Mistborn, the first Mistborn from Sanderson. And this one is the short stories of all the short stories of Gabriel Garcia Marquez. There is also amazing with the...
Excellent.
It's kind of horror. They have a short stories that are in the horror thing. Really good.
I am currently listening to The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen, which is the first book. I think it's in a duology about someone every 100 years the gods decide that they're going to figure out who the new ruler of Olympus is. So they each choose a human champion to fight it out in an arena. And I'm also reading The Ballad of Betrayal by a queer self-published author here in Western Australia about a necromancer and a witch. So that's good. And that's the second book in a duology called The Purgatory Chronicles. And then I'm also looking at what I need to get done in March. But March might just be my novella month, just to get my reading back up. Yes. Does anyone have to head out for the next sprint? Who is the next sprint?
I have no idea.
My wife is apparently reading Foxfire. Anna Robbins.
Oh, I know Anna. I won't be in that stream, but I'll be in the chat.
That's right. Anna with Marlene, Natalie, and Becca was next. So what I think we'll do is there you go. There we go with the spanner. But what I might do then is let everyone go, because it is also getting quite late where I am. So go have a quick rest, relax.
Get lunch here.
Get lunch, get sustenance, libations, stretch. Would you like to do your outro, Andrea?
What? What do I have to say?
Do you have plug anything you would like?
Oh, no. Follow these awesome authortubers and authors. My channel is empty of anything relevant at this point. So don't worry. Please follow all these lovely ladies. I see you tomorrow. I'm with Jackie and Alice in my stream. Tomorrow is the 11th stream, I think. And Alice, I think that yours is the 10th or not? Yes. So I'm first with Alice in the morning, and then with me, both of these ladies. So see you tomorrow.
Jackie?
I've just joined Blue Sky. So if anybody wants to connect with it, just look up Jacqueline Kirk, Blue Sky, whatever. Jacqueline Kirk. And it'll be nice to connect with some people there.
Excellent.
That's pretty much it.
I will be in a stream later with Laura Nettles. I think hers is at 7, I think. And then I'll be with Sam again at 10.
Yeah. So yes, I am Heather Salter-Purves. This is a queer fantasy author. This is my channel where I talk about reading, writing, and life stuff. If you are looking for, I'm going to pull mine off my shelf. I'm going to ignore that these are the author copies or the proof copies. Okay. If you are looking for mermaid YA shifters with some spooky creepiness, check out Cursed Cove, book 1 in a series of Keepers of Devil's Bay. If you would like some new adult reimaginings of Hades and Persephone with Welsh mythology, female loving, check out Her Daffodil Queen, which is the first book and an interconnected mythology, lore, fairy tale retelling. You can find all my links to my books and my social media linked down below. But let's use our voices to promote positive change in the world. Thank you, and thank you for having us. And sprinting. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.